Welcome to the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing, founder of the Reiki Business Collective and creator of the Build Your Reiki Business program, sending blessings and best wishes to your Reiki business. Greetings, welcome, and thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing, and thank you so much for being here. It truly is an honor, and I truly am grateful. So thank you so very much. This week's episode is about meetings. Holding meetings in your Reiki business. A different kind of topic for sure. But first, I want to make sure to remind you for the last time that the How to Start a Reiki Business workshop, the free workshop, is on Tuesday, October 24th. So don't miss this workshop. You can register at standingstoneshealing.com/Reiki Biz Kit. Yes, the link is below. And also on the same link, you can now register for the third free Reiki Business workshop on November the 15th on what to expect, how to navigate the first 3 years of your Reiki business. So standingstoneshealing.com/Reiki Biz Kit is where you can register for those free workshops. And yes, indeed, you can get the free Reiki Biz Kit there as well. So thank you so very much. I hope to see you at one or both. And if you cannot join live, don't worry. If you register, you will get the replay. So thank you so much. So let's talk about meetings in our Reiki business. Meetings in our Reiki business? Yes, indeed, meetings. So I have been holding meetings in my own Reiki business for years now. And I will say that as of right now in my Reiki business, I am the only employee in my Reiki business. I am the only one who operates my Reiki business, and I am the only one who conducts business activity for my Reiki business. And so that means that I am the only one who is present at my Reiki business meetings. But I do feel that it is important to hold meetings even if you are only holding them with yourself. You know, I mentioned a few years back to another Reiki business owner that I have meetings with myself, and they were a little not aghast, maybe not even disgusted, but like, why would I hold meetings with myself? Kind of. Actually, that was their response. And I have found holding meetings with myself to be very helpful in my Reiki business. And so I'm going to share with you what I do for my own meetings, why I hold them, and the kind of benefit that I've seen for them in my Reiki business. And it isn't something that many new Reiki business owners and even established Reiki business owners think of or do. But why hold meetings with yourself? Because it is just yourself. When we think about business meetings, we think about sitting around a table with colleagues. Maybe some of them we like, maybe some of them we don't like. We think about having a cup of coffee as we're listening to people drone on about things that we really aren't that interested in while we try to sneak checking our phone or gazing out the window, wishing that we were somewhere else. And then we're called upon to contribute to the meeting and we're like, oh crap, or, oh, I don't want to be asked this question. And so meetings, business meetings typically are not something that people really enjoy or look forward to. And so why would we put ourselves through that in our own Reiki business? You know, like Christian, I have a Reiki business so that I don't have to do all of those typical business things that no one likes to do at work. But indeed, doing those typical business things can be really helpful for our Reiki business. And listen, when it's your business, you get to determine how you do the business things. And so that means that if you hold business meetings in your Reiki business, even all by yourself, you can conduct them in the ways that resonate with you. So I'm going to share with you how I do it, but you are free to do your Reiki business meetings in the way that resonates with you. Light a candle, light some incense, say some mantras, do whatever it is that you want to do. Send Reiki to your meeting minutes, whatever feels right to you. You are welcome to do. But I do recommend holding meetings, and I recommend holding them monthly. Any more than monthly is, in my estimation, a little too much maybe, and might be taking away from time that you could spend doing other business tasks, like meeting with clients. And doing them less frequently means that time might get away from you, means that things might get away with you and things might fall through the cracks. And so in my own Reiki business, I do set aside time to meet with myself monthly in my Reiki business, and I do this the first week of each month. And the way that I do this is that I'll do it in the beginning of the month, looking over the last month's progress and what I did in the last month. And so what that means, I'll give you an overview of how I conduct my own meetings. Again, take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't, because it's your Reiki business and you can do whatever the hell you want. Here's what I do right now. I'll sit down and I'll pull up last month's meeting minutes, and I will use that as a template and start writing in all of the updates on last month's document. And then, of course, I'll just save it as a new document with a new name to preserve the last month's, of course. But what I'll do is that I'll start with, like a summary, like an overview of what has happened, major developments in the last month. So I'll look at my calendar and I'll see what exactly has been going on in the last month. What are some new things? And I do this because it's so easy to forget things. At least it is for me in my Reiki business, and I have a really good memory. And so as the month goes on, I might forget, oh yeah, that's right. I reached out to that person about that event, and oh, that's right. I had someone contact me about doing a speaking engagement on this date, and I'll forget those kinds of things. So having a monthly meeting allows me the opportunity to remember those things and to get them down in a fixed place. And so that when the next month comes, I can see if there's been any movement on that development, or if I need to do more work on that or something. So it helps me to have a broad overview of what's been going on and the new developments that I will want to keep in mind for the next month as well. So I'll start off with a summary just about major developments, things that have happened, and, maybe new workshops, new classes that I've started, just an overview, broad, general kinds of things, a summary. Then I'll move into my goals. And what I'll do is I'll review the last month's goals. And so I personally like to set goals for my Reiki business, monthly goals. And now at this point, when I say monthly goals, I know some of you are like, goals in your Reiki business? I'm just doing this for my soul. My soul doesn't have a goal, buddy. And yes, I agree with you. And at the same time, I use goals as a way to help me move my business forward, to help me keep the focus on what's important, and to really help me to be as of service in the best way that I can. So the goals really help to remind me of, what I'm doing, what I'm here for, and the ways in which I want to move forward with my Reiki business. So I'll take a look at last month's goals and I'll say, okay, how did I do on them? And I'll track my progress on them. And this helps me to see if did I meet my goal? Did I not meet my goal? Did I exceed it? And to reflect upon the whys of that. Why did I or did I not meet or exceed my goals? So I'll start with last month's goals. Then I move into the income and expenses. And so I do track my income and expenses, and I make sure to stay on top of this monthly. Actually, I do this much more frequently, but when it comes to my monthly meetings, I do make sure to note that. So I really believe in staying on top of our Reiki business books because it's really helpful for us at tax time for sure. So if you have an accountant, when you go to meet with your accountant and you've got everything in order, your accountant is going to love you. And it also gives you less headaches and makes your life so much easier. And when it comes to monthly expenses and income, this is really helpful for estimated tax payments. And if you're like, oh my God, I have no idea what he's talking about, take a deep breath. Don't worry. As an aside, I explain all of this in the Build Your Reiki Business program. But tracking and keeping tabs on monthly income and expenses is really helpful to be able to track how your business is doing in that way, and also to be able to plan for things like estimated tax payments. So I track the monthly income and expenses, and at the very least, I do recommend to make sure that you're staying on top of your books no less than every month. I really encourage that. No less than every month to reconcile all of your books, to have all the personal and business expenses separated, to know what each expense is, how it's categorized, and to really stay on top of that monthly. I talk about this in the Build Your Reiki Business program, but it's just like brushing your teeth. If you brush your teeth every day, then you're going to have less of a problem than if you don't. So brush your teeth every day and avoid cavities rather than waiting for a week and then brushing your teeth a lot at the end of the week. So please, I recommend brushing your teeth with your expenses and your income frequently in your Reiki business. But I track that so that I know where that money, where my business stands financially each month. Then I'll go into all of my outlets. So the ways in which I might connect with clients and potential clients. My business is hybrid, so it's both in person and online. And so I look at both of those sides of the business and see how things are going with the online business, with the in-person business. And I'll break it down into the different ways in which I might connect with people, meet new clients. So I'll take a look at, for instance, my email list growth. I'll take a look at my social media growth, all of my different accounts, the YouTube channel, the podcast, Facebook and Instagram. I'll look at all of those in terms of the numbers. Now, I want to be very clear here that our Reiki business is about so much more than the numbers. And so we can track numbers all day, but quantity isn't everything in our Reiki business. And as a matter of fact, you can have a thriving Reiki business with a small quantity in terms of number of email subscribers or followers or whatever the case might be. And so numbers aren't everything. but numbers are easy to track. And so while numbers aren't everything, they are a very easy way to measure. I can indeed measure my sense of feeling good. I can measure my own joy in my work, but it's hard to affix a number to that. Like, oh, in my Reiki business, my level of joy for the month of October is a 10. Oh, and that's so much better compared to September when it was a 7. Yes, sure, we can do that. And if that resonates with you, go for it. But we have to admit that quantities are really easy to track, and things that we can measure are just easier to understand and to measure and to gauge growth with. So what that means is that numbers aren't everything in our Reiki business, but they are a really great place to investigate and to record, because there's something tangible and concrete that we can easily comprehend. And so that means that I will do that with my Reiki business. I'll look at the numbers. How much did my YouTube channel grow? How much did my email list grow? How much did fill in the blank grow? And so, that is what I do. I'll look at my groups. I will look at the podcast. I'll just look at all kinds of things. I'll also look at my website. How many clicks? How am I doing in search results? So I'll look at the website too. And just all of those analytics, I will take a look at. Now, what's really nice is that what that means is that when you do this and you do this consistently, you can see the growth. They're a really good reminder of how much you can grow in your Reiki business, and to really say, oh my gosh, look, like 3 years ago at this time, this is where I was in my Reiki business, and look at it now and the massive difference. And so it can be fun, and it can be real encouragement as well to say, wow, and look where I'll be if I continue to have this kind of growth in my Reiki business 3 years from now. So it's an encouraging kind of thing as well when you hold these monthly meetings over an extended period of time and can look back and see how far you've come. I will also look at my offerings. So what do I have on offerings right now? The courses, the sessions, in other words, paid things, and to see how they perform, how they're doing. And when I track these things, when I have this information, it can help me to make business decisions. It can help me to know where it might be a good idea to put my efforts. It can help me to know what people are interested in. So in other words, what people are finding my website for when they're searching. And it can help me to know how I might want to move forward with my content and creating things that people are interested in and searching for. Now, of course, I do also want to mention here that I don't encourage creating content just because people are going to click on it and just because it's something that people are searching for. I think that there is a meeting place where we can use the information and the analytics and the data in conjunction with what resonates with us, and then do that. So where they overlap, and so where my own personal interests overlap, where I feel that spirit is guiding me, where I feel intuitively drawn, and where it feels good, overlapped with how I can best help and serve. That's really what it's all about. And so when you track these things, it can really help you to make business decisions that are informed by what other people are interested in. So let's say, for instance, that you offer a Reiki session special for 60 minutes for $60. And that's a special for your Reiki business. And you find when you sit down and crunch the numbers during your monthly meeting that, holy cow, people loved that. And as a matter of fact, you had way more people sign up for that than who usually sign up for your 30-minute sessions. And so what that means is that in your Reiki business, you might want to put more energy and effort into offering those 60-minute sessions. So when we have our monthly meeting and crunch these numbers, we can then use that information to move our business in the direction in which really the information, the data, and our clients and potential clients are encouraging us to move in. Again, as it resonates with and feels right to us, because the data is not here to supplement. I'm sorry, supplant. It's not here to replace what we in our own Reiki business feel drawn to, but it's rather as a supplement, as a complement, and as a way to help move our Reiki business forward in an informed kind of way. That's what these meetings can do for us in our Reiki business. They provide information. They provide an opportunity for reflection, an opportunity to purposefully and intentionally sit down and reflect on where our business is, what has happened over the past month, and what we would like the next month to look like. And then the next month to look backwards on what happened in that month. And did it play out in the way that we might have wanted it to with our goals? Why or why not? Reflection is essential in our Reiki business. You know, if you think about it, if you reflect on it, we really need to be reflecting in our Reiki business, reflecting upon our own desires, our own gifts, reflecting upon what we want our business to look like, reflecting upon how we want to serve, reflecting upon who we want to help. And so reflection in all kinds of ways is essential to our Reiki business. And having a monthly meeting is one way of carving out purposeful reflection time, where you are really considering your business, where it's been, where it's at, and where you'd like it to go. And doing this on a monthly basis helps you to stay on top of the trends within your business. It helps you to stay on top of how things are going in your business. And it helps you to have a clearer idea of where you might like your business to go. And so I do recommend holding monthly meetings in your Reiki business so that you have an idea of where you might want to go. Now, I will also say that on my meeting minutes, in my monthly meeting for my Reiki business, I also have a section for considerations. So things that I'm thinking of, things that, maybe I might like to do a class on this. Maybe I might like to make this particular change to my sessions. Maybe I might like to fill in the blank. And so I'll have a section for those kinds of like ideas, daydreams, things I'm thinking about, considerations that when I get to the next month, that's right. I was thinking about that. How do I feel about that now? Oh, I'm still considering it. Okay, keep it on the minutes for this month, but I'm not going to get around to it, but I don't want to forget it, kind of a thing. So I even have a section for considerations. What are some things that I might like to do? What are some things that I'm considering in my Reiki business? So, are you considering holding meetings for your Reiki business? Do you hold meetings in your Reiki business? Am I the only one who does this? I may very well be. But drop it in the comments. Let us know what you think, especially if you are on YouTube. Let us know. Do you hold meetings for your Reiki business in your Reiki business, even if you are all alone in your Reiki business? If so, what kinds of things do you review in your monthly meetings? Or are you inspired to have your own monthly meetings now? Remember, they can look like whatever you want them to look like. It's up to you in your own Reiki business. So, as always, I'm sending blessings and best wishes to your Reiki business. I'm sending blessings and best wishes to your monthly meetings. And of course, as always, you can always check out the Build Your Reiki Business program at standingstoneshealing.com/build. Sending so many blessings and best wishes to your Reiki business. Thanks for tuning in to the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. Please like, share, subscribe, and send to a friend. Learn more about the Build Your Reiki Business program at standingstoneshealing.com/build. Sending blessings and best wishes to your Reiki business.